Getting ready. MaSa is here. He's just hopping off the phone, you know, calling a lovely, lucky lady. Maybe setting up a date for later on.
Yeah,
he's like, hey, baby, I'll treat you to this $1,400 prize pool. You know how many burritos I can buy you? Oh, so many burritos.
It's a lot. Slightly less Canadian, but still a lot.
I know this guy named Steadfast. He's done the math on how many burritos we can buy.
And it's a lot.
All right, Steadfast, go ahead and take it away with that first player introduction.
All right. Spawning in the top right position of Orbital Shipyard. It is the Terran player. From Elevate, it's MaSa. Going for a gas first.
And we have down in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the yellow Terran player, the up-and-comer looking to upset from Team Gravity. Give it up for Semper. So, Steadfast, I know you've done the math, but you also told me what the math was. It's 175 burritos.
I did tell you that,
At $8 per burrito.
That's good value.
That's good value.
Burritos. Yeah.
I think you can get, $8 for a burrito is pretty good.
I think so. To be honest, I think you can eat a burrito a day, and probably that would be enough. That would be enough food.
It is.
Yeah. You could live 175 days for food.
Or you could be a glutton and live 175 divided by 2, which, by the way, is 87.5.
Yes, it is.
Math on stream.
We did the math.
I may or may not have a calculator open.
Nope, we did the math.
But, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about this game because you said something super interesting. MaSa not only opened up with the gas first, but he opened up with a second gas geyser.
That is so quick, going for that super fast factory. Actually getting blocked by Semper a little bit. That's annoying.
Yeah, throwing down a factory, as you were saying, and well, that SCV getting pretty low.
Oof, yeah. Does repair it just a little bit. I think that brings it up to 6 HP, maybe?
Yeah, that's the important thing. As long as it does not die immediately.
12 HP. Okay, so yeah, just adding on 2 extra hit points. Make sure it's going to take an extra hit for it to die. Yeah. Nice little touch from MaSa.
Yeah, not wasting any additional minerals that he didn't need to waste, but this is kind of what I'm waiting to see. What is MaSa planning? He is definitely looking to get very, very aggressive. And Semper, on the other hand, went for the command center, went for the barracks, and you can just compare the factory for Semper goes down right when the factory for MaSa finishes.
Yeah, that's a big difference in tech. And Semper, he is going to have that econ advantage, but workers don't do so well against tanks and banshees.
No.
And I'm not sure quite yet what we'll see. We do see the starport about halfway done. You're going to need to start the tech lab very shortly if you're going for that banshee. But I think we'll see in just a second. Yeah, it is going to be a Hellion Reaper play with medevac. This is very strong. The Reapers can heal on their own, but having a medevac there just adds so much to their viability and how long they can stick around.
Yeah, just going to try and soak up some of the shots with those Reapers. They are sort of a little bit hard to tank with, but if you have a micro like MaSa, you can definitely make it work. Here we go. SCV even leading the charge, going to soak up just a couple more hits, and the Reaper is doing a good job of zoning out these Marines. These Marines cannot even touch these units.
Yeah, it does actually kill the SCV poking away, but still those Reapers, as you say, they're just zoning things out. I was actually mistaken. It's going to be a Liberator follow-up for MaSa. Very interesting.
I like that, and remember, mostly just the Reaper is taking damage right now and continuing to zone these guys out, and that reactor is getting so low. Semper may even want to consider pulling SCVs to repair this. He's pulling one SCV, that is not even close to enough.
That is, yeah, he pulls too late, does lose a Reaper MaSa, but picking off that reactor is a big deal. It's really going to stunt his...
Oh my god, those Hellion shots also are brutal right now. MaSa killing so many units. He's traded out 1 Hellion, 2 Reapers for 4 Marines and a reactor.
That reactor is really the big... It makes it look like that's a worse trade for MaSa, but killing that reactor is a big deal. That's a lot of time building and a lot of lack of Marine production, which, look at that, there is Cloak for Banshees coming out.
And the Liberator sets up. Guess what? Semper doesn't exactly have a lot of Marines to deal with this, and whatever Marines he does have, he tries to send over to the front to deal with the Hellion. He is going to try and reposition.
Oh, they're lining up!
But the Hellions going to be able to get on top of this mineral line, already killing off some of these workers. Semper is not going to be too happy about this.
No, this is a brutal situation for Semper. Nice target fire, even on that weakened SCV. Is he going to get it? Yes, does finish it off. Wow, let's look at the units, workers killed tab, and it is up to 8 workers killed. That actually, I thought that would be a lot worse.
I did too.
But with such a low Marine count, this Banshee might actually be able to just deal a ton more damage to Semper.
Absolutely. Now, there is a Viking out for Semper, and that is a very, very important thing that he did immediately go up for, especially after seeing, I would say, the Liberators maybe triggered that. But imagine if Semper doesn't, or sorry, if MaSa doesn't just time, oh, Hellions, oh, you had an opportunity to actually do a big run by there.
Yeah,
but,
that could have been big.
Yeah, but Semper really doesn't have a lot to deal with multiple bits of aggression in 2 different locations. If the Banshee comes in, survives this early stage, and comes in at the same time the push comes in at the backside, what is Semper going to do? He can't split up his units.
No, he did, I believe, save up a scan. Yes, he did. And that's actually going to be a big deal. That Cyclone able to finish off the Banshee, and I think MaSa only got 1 SCV kill with that, maybe?
Yeah, you know, MaSa, especially with the later command center, I'm starting to feel like he did a lot of damage, but it was with a very delayed command center. He's also invested a lot into all of this, and I'm not sure if it's all really paid off yet.
Yeah, he has gotten a slight worker lead, but it could have done so much more. Semper does have that quicker combat shield. MaSa, on the other hand, getting a quicker +1. So we'll see if that shakes out into anything substantial if they end up fighting. Maybe if they fight before +1 is finished and before stim, and when Semper has both stim and combat shields, that could be a big deal.
Yeah, Semper returning the favor over here with this Liberator, though, in the top right, trying to get some damage done. Maybe killing off 1 worker. Might be able to kill off a couple more. At least one of them building supply depot. Supply block that kid. There you go, Semper. Vikings going to be able to take out that Liberator, though, and gets 1 more kill.
2 more kills even. Wow, that was a little bit surprising, but we do have a
Overeager.
big push coming across the map. Yeah, that's the thing. You never expect Liberators.
You're just like,
you
it's
think
dead.
they're dead, yeah.
They're going to try and run now. Nope.
Oh, that Cyclone actually...
Gets the leash range. Doesn't quite get the pick off. Loses vision.
But the Banshee isn't going to target down. Yes, does kill it.
There it goes. And this is starting to look like a very scary push. And this is the big advantage that MaSa really has, that siege tank count. Even pushing across the map, Semper only able to get out 2 siege tanks so far. Gonna have another one popping out, I think, eventually. No, he doesn't even have anything started up on that factory right now. But... oh, God, if he loses that reactor again, that's going to be frustrating.
That's really brutal, but it was a nice play from Semper, scanning that Banshee, recognizing that he's going to have air superiority in a Viking fight, and as long as he can take out the cloaked Banshee, he's going to be able to shove MaSa away. But actually, still losing that reactor because of the scan.
You know, it's so funny. We are seeing a little bit of air-on-air battle that Semper, as you were saying, is going to reign supreme in, as long as MaSa doesn't get to use some of those Marines. But
a bit of a miss rally there from MaSa.
You know, it's so funny. A lot of players will complain about TVT and medevac siege tank. We haven't seen any medevacs out. In fact, the first 2 medevacs are only just now going to be popping out for Semper. So these siege tanks have been sieging and unsieging, moving forward and re-sieging.
Yeah, just like the old-fashioned days.
It's old school TVT, guys.
It's interesting because they both need that air superiority, right? So, yeah, they just couldn't afford to build medevacs.
No, takes away from your Viking production. But finally, we do end up seeing, again, Semper sneaking out those 2 medevacs and still being that Viking lead, or at least a tie. Maybe wants to repair up some of those Vikings, but they are so far across the map now, and I think he is just committed to making this damage happen with 2 siege tanks and a handful of Vikings, but not enough to be area superior anymore. I am a little bit skeptical of how well this is going to work.
I think this could go very badly if Semper's not careful. Actually, oh wow, if he gets the target fire, no,
I mean,
he doesn't.
But he has to sacrifice all of his Vikings. Every single one of these Vikings is going to go down. And now MaSa takes a nice lead in that Viking camp. That was one of the big advantages that Semper was maintaining.
Yeah, it was, and that just is gone now. Air superiority, especially retaining those Vikings for MaSa, it's going to make it so much harder to do, as we're seeing right now, drops and tank evac repositioning with the army.
Yeah. But Semper is sticking to his guns. He's saying, well, you know what? I lost the Viking battle. I'm not even going to try and play catch up right now. He's making more and more medevacs, continuing that aggression with the double drop on the right-hand side of the map. The 2 siege tanks still alive and sitting and idling on the left-hand side of the map. Semper looking to try and make it happen, but MaSa is saying, you know what? I have area superiority. I can actually go across the map.
Yeah, a lot of multitasking going on, but these 2 missile turrets could actually do a lot of damage. Drop on the right side is going to boost past, but loses one of the medevacs almost half full. And meanwhile, on the left side, we do see the tank drop coming into the natural. That gets shooed away.
Yeah. But I mean, just containing those siege tanks and make sure that they're on the defensive on the wrong side of the map is going to be really nice damage over here for Semper. He does manage to kill off a couple of workers, already killed off 10 workers, and even up the number of workers killed, but here we go. MaSa coming in at the bottom left-hand side now.
And eliminating those missile turrets is really nice for Semper. Going to be allowing him to drop later. Meanwhile, yeah, this drop is actually going to start to do some nice damage for MaSa.
Already getting some good damage done, man. Semper is aware of this, but he's not pulling his workers all the way around. In fact, all of this upgrade...
Oh, if he can deny the upgrade, that's
so close.
huge.
1 second away. It does get repaired back up to health, and he does manage to salvage it just barely. Oh, my God. +1/+1 does finish up for Semper, and that can play a huge role in those big Marine versus Marine battles.
Yeah, that was a razor's edge right there, and not only did he save it, he actually sniped the medevac down. So nice from Semper right there, and I'm seeing why he feels that this is his best matchup. He's putting on a bit of a clinic, but we actually have a really big push coming in from MaSa, just saying, you know what, I don't need that many medevacs. I just have so many tanks
This is
and air superiority.
Yeah.
Oh, nice scan there from both players.
Oh, but the siege tanks for Semper are going the wrong way. Maybe a little bit of miscontrol. Some mish-hotkeyed siege tanks, losing 2 of the medevacs and 2 of those siege tanks. And Semper is actually, he was down in supply before those siege tank losses. He is further down in supply.
That was really nice from MaSa too. Killing that tech lab ensures that double tank production is not going to pick up for quite a bit longer from Semper, and he really needs these tanks to push back this push.
Semper even had those medevacs, the medevac with the Marines sitting on the other side of the map, ready to go in, start doing some counter damage. He did move in, and he still hasn't moved in, even though there are a couple units now from MaSa. But here we go. He's moving in. He's trying to deal with these siege tanks, but he's taking so many losses on those Marines.
And we see MaSa taking a big army supply lead, 40 supply up in army right now. And meanwhile, the push on the other side of the map did get cleaned up.
Absolutely nothing. All of these Marines just get obliterated alongside the medevac. And MaSa is just inching closer and closer. He's taking out that 3rd expansion. This is a timer right now, Steadfast. MaSa has to be broken or Semper is not going to be able to do this.
Oh, nice target fire on one of those tanks by the low ground. But there's just so many Marines left over for MaSa. Upgrade lead is going to be closing in for Semper, but I don't think he can hold on that long.
There are only 7 Marines left over right now, Steadfast. MaSa can move his way through this, I almost feel like
I don't think he can. Look at all those Marines going down.
Oh my God, okay. Well, you know what? I maybe spoke a little bit too soon. Semper is starting to bring this back a little bit. Semper medevacing his siege tanks a little bit closer, starting to push MaSa back. And is he making the miraculous defense over here?
3 tanks left, but if there are Marines from Semper to drop on top of these, that'd be a big deal. But the reinforcing Marines from MaSa are going to solidify this position once again, I feel.
Oh, I think MaSa identifying exactly what you were saying. He was saying, you know what, you don't actually have any anti-air. There's no Marines are really around. There's a single Viking. I can pick up my siege tanks. I can take my Marines maybe into the medevac. And I'd love to see him just go into the main base where he even siege up and on top of his opponent's siege tanks or something.
Yeah, this is actually because of that kind of rally mistake from MaSa.
Big mistake.
Yeah, we see this actually, countering with some donation Marines of his own. Yeah. We actually see this game not over yet.
No, and of course Semper now has a 2-2 upgrade lead now. That is going to be evened up very soon by MaSa. He's very close to finishing those up as it's just a matter of seconds. But MaSa has a 4th expansion behind us. That's a planetary fortress. Going to be hard to drop. Going to be hard to put on a lot of pressure there. But MaSa is just going to have a better economy. And eventually, Semper should be falling behind.
Yeah, right now he's got him in quite contained. He can't take that 4th base. And Legacy of the Void, you need that so bad. I'm going to guess his main and natural are almost mined out. Nice tank drop there. Going to be moving forward. Yeah, down to 4 mineral patches. 2 mineral patches in the natural. He needs that so bad. Oh, actually target
firing. Here we go. Big engagement. Semper's siege tanks dropping and not really doing quite as much. There are just way too many Marines over here for MaSa. Command Center, the 4th expansion, such a vital expansion right now from Semper, does get taken out. And MaSa, he's saying, I'm not going to repeat that last engagement.
Yeah, he's learned his lesson. He says, no rally. I'm pushing in. Nice tank pickup there from Semper, but it gets targeted down anyways. Nice counter micro from MaSa.
Losing all of his siege tanks and Marines again, though. Even though, yes, MaSa takes out the 4th, and he is grabbing a 5th expansion. That's kind of the funny thing, right? Even though these drops, this harassment, this pressure from MaSa keeps getting cleaned up, Semper just doesn't have an expansion, and MaSa keeps taking more expansions.
Yeah, and MaSa did catch up in those upgrades, as well as he's starting 3-3 and +2 vehicle weapons, which I believe will give him the advantage there. Even MaSa going in for a drop at the natural expansion. 17 workers on one mineral patch, that's a lot of dead SCVs.
Well, you know, here's the bright side of things, Steadfast, is that these SCVs weren't really mining efficiently anyway, so really MaSa's just doing him a favor, even going to continue to take out some of these Marines, say, oh, were you maybe ever close to supply block? Let me help you out with that. At the same time, though, Semper putting some pressure on the outside of the map, trying to take out this fourth, but is a planetary fortress, and that makes it so slow to ever try and take out.
Did target down those SCVs, so nice control there from Semper, but on the other side of the map, he had lost his main command center, which he was trying to float over. He's desperately trying to hold on, but even a 5th base from MaSa coming up.
It is, while technically a hold, and he does take out that 4th expansion from MaSa, he's still sitting very far down supply, and now MaSa is out for blood, looking for an opportunity to siege up, or I should say seize these siege tanks. But I mean, not having a 4th expansion and the 5th expansion now no longer mining, Semper maybe finding an opportunity to bring himself back into this.
Yeah, this Semper's not letting go. He's doing what he can with a much smaller army supply, and I like this. But MaSa saying, okay, that's fine.
If you want to base trade this, let's go, man. You have your siege tanks and 2 Vikings. What are you gonna do?
We do see some big tank shots coming in, but it's just not enough. And Semper is going to type out GG. MaSa calmly takes, I believe that's his 4th win.
Definitely a lot of wins. He is very close. I mean, guaranteed to be at least one of the top 4 seeds, I would say, at this point.
I think 4 wins is going to be that magic number. I'm almost certain he's now in that top 4. That's got to feel nice.
Absolutely.
Doing that so quickly and so efficiently as well. That was a good game. That was very exciting.
It's a very solid series, and of course, really cool game out of Semper as well. Even though he didn't end up taking it, we're starting to see that despite how his score is going right now in today's groups, he's not feeling too down about it. At least his TVT looks solid, but I'm kind of hoping that doesn't kind of bite him in the butt also, where he just feels like, oh man, you know, I lost my best matchup.
Yeah, that was probably a bit demoralizing for Semper.
It was a bittersweet symphony, you might say.
Yes, a bittersweet
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
TVT.
hopping into that replay to see how that game went. We're going to get a bit of a recap. And we saw that MaSa really just started off with that aggression. And this is where things just immediately started to take a turn for the worse. With those Hellions, with the Reaper, not only having taken out the reactor earlier on, but getting that big run by after that. And this is where I would say, you know, Semper started to look like he was maybe going to be able to bring things back.
Yeah, he actually, I feel, took a bit of a lead. This is where he kind of threw that lead away.
Oh, yeah.
Lost all 4 Vikings. He did manage to target down. This is nice target fire right here. So
Absolutely.
He actually got all of the weakened Vikings, traded 4 for 3. Not as bad as it could have been, but it was a painful loss. There's no way around that.
Yeah, and you were talking actually earlier about how he took out those missile turrets, and now coming back to it, we saw that he didn't really ever get a chance to
drop in that base
again.
Yeah,
exactly. Find a good opportunity to drop in that base again, make the damage happen again later on. In fact, it was just because MaSa was doing such a consistent job of keeping Semper back at home, pressuring him, as we ended up seeing not only this medevac drop, but a little bit later on, we also ended up seeing the big push out across the map.
Yes. And we did actually see MaSa targeting down that supply depot first. If he had maybe targeted the engineering bay for the whole duration, he maybe gets that upgrade.
Maybe, but you know, a win is a win either way.
A win is a win, yep.
So, either way, MaSa definitely looking pretty strong in this. And this is where we end up seeing kind of funny engagements over here. The medevac, siege tank donations, that was a pretty big deal.
That was 2 medevacs, 2 tanks. That matters. So if he has 2 medevacs more and 2 more tanks, I think maybe he can stop MaSa from getting into this critical position.
Absolutely. Now there were a couple of other things where, you know, Semper was trying to make that damage happen on the outside of the map, wasn't able to do it, but here we ended up seeing this is where that kind of miraculous hold over here from Semper starts coming over. He loses all of these Marines, but he actually trades out and target fires down the siege tanks of MaSa.
Yes, we did. I saw that actually noticing the whole game.
Yeah.
He was very good at targeting, for example, the center of Marine clumps.
Oh, and the donations that happened, the poor donations from MaSa, siege tanks, Marines, and this is really what made it seem like, is Semper's comeback going to happen?
Yes, definitely left a bit of an opportunity, but MaSa stayed calm. He said, that's fine. It sucks, but you know, I'm gonna contain him. I'm not gonna let him take a fourth. My fourth is up. I still have the lead. I just need to not be over-eager. We do see a bit of that right here, bit of over-eagerness,
yeah.
but he still maintains that tank count, and
absolutely. And, you know, we ended up seeing, of course, Semper try to do what I actually think was a pretty cool and interesting decision, even though he does end up getting dropped, gets pulled back and everything. But he tries to go for a quasi-base trade situation, and I kind of like it in a way.
Yes, yeah. I think it was the best decision given the scenario he was in.
Yeah.
I don't think in most situations MaSa loses that game, but I do think Semper gave himself an opportunity to win it.
Yeah.
With that push.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, we end up seeing the final push in over here from MaSa as he ended up taking the game. But with that being said, again, MaSa coming out with a very, very strong lead. You know, it's so funny because I would actually hear a lot of players talk about Semper.
Yes.
And they would say, you know, Semper is like an earlier version of MaSa. It's like MaSa is actually like Semper 2.0 in a way.
A more well-developed Semper, but we did see that Semper had a lot of really nice moves that just they were missing maybe one or two touch-ups. Just a little bit. Just something.
It's just like, you know, not running those the medevacs and the siege tanks and everything. That could have made a huge difference.
Yep.
If you had been able to get the drop in again from the natural expansion where you took out those missiles, that could have made a huge difference. You know, these small little things that could have added up.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like we're actually going to be going to Jeopardy board 2.
Yeah, with improved audio, might I add, we had wonderful attempt from our wonderful production crew that tried to rectify the audio. It may not be, and I will say this in advance, it may not be absolutely perfect. We understand that, guys. There were some problems with the recordings initially, so kind of making do with what we have, but we did our best, and we should hopefully have better audio. And of course, after this one, I believe, or actually after I think the Jeopardy segments that we'll be playing tomorrow, this should be an actually perfectly normal audio. So
I believe
bear with it. There's still some pretty awesome games.
Oh yeah. My highlight was.
We'll let them watch it, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil anything.
I was just gonna say the second one. Yeah.
Second game. The second game.
Yeah, that was my highlight.
All right, that was highlight.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping over to SC2 Jeopardy. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it.